If you have been brave enough to remember who you are in a world that wants to degrade you and shame you into forgetting, then this video is for you. We have spent our entire lives being projected on by the shame of the collective. Our physical appearance, but most importantly, our sexuality has been tore down by this shadow we hold around sexual energy and physical bodies. This has nothing to do with being a woman, though being a woman is definitely included. Definitely included. This is about the divine feminine Christ consciousness. This is about the imbalance of power that the patriarchy holds. And this is not a video meant to tear down men. If there are any comments that have to do with hating men or anything like this, I'm going to delete them because this is not the space for that. This is the space for people who have been shamed and belittled for their physical appearance or their sexuality their entire lives, who have been a target for skewed, corrupt sexuality their entire lives. And perhaps on your journey, you got lost here and you fed into it because you forgot who you are. Perhaps you forgot the power that you hold within your sexuality, within your physical presence, because it was shamed and demonized. And that is okay. This all comes full circle around to reclaiming our sexuality as our own. Not something that belongs to another, but something that belongs to you. Something that can never be taken from you. Because it is solely yours to hold. And the way you choose to wield your sexual energy in its innate innocence and purity has nothing to do with how you physically express yourself in this reality, and has everything to do with the intention behind the expression. Your physical body, your sexual energy is innately pure and innocent, and it has been grossly distorted by the imbalance, by the patriarchal conditioning in our current society. And you reclaim that power that belongs to you, that can never be taken from you. It is innate to your being by standing firm in the truth of who you are, by standing firm in your divine sovereignty, in your sexual, creative expression in this physical reality. I don't care if you want to walk down the street naked. That could be considered a divine, innocent expression of physicality, of sexual energy. And those who choose to distort this expression have this viral infection within them. Now, I'm not saying to not check yourself to see where you are acting from. If you are acting from a place of needing external approval, and this is why you express yourself, and this is why or how you yield your sexual energy for external approval or to gain something from out there, that is a wounded sexual expression. But if you are fully sovereign, standing in your power, standing in your sexual energy, in your physical body, and you know exactly who you are, and what happens out there as an expression, as a projection of this energy, if this energy then gets distorted, this has nothing to do with you. We have been internalizing this shame, this guilt, this sense of feeling dirty for our sexuality, for our physical appearance, for far too long. And it's time to call it out lovingly from a sovereign space of divine expression. You call it out by standing fully in the power of who you know yourself to be, regardless of external projections onto you. You understand that the external projection has nothing to do with you and has everything to do with the projector. As long as you are willing to dive deep into this shadow of your own sexual energy, the shadow of your own divine physical expression, and get to know the inner workings of your intentions, not to shame them or to belittle them or to make them gross or bad, but just to know them, so that whenever you do choose to stand and express yourself in this way, it is not mistaken where you are coming from, because you remember who you are. The divine feminine expression is powerful, and it is innately pure and innocent, and it belongs to you. It belongs to you. And with this reclaiming of the power this expression holds, you are no longer susceptible to the shaming, degrading, and belittling of others. This sense of shame and degradation can only be internalized when you have forgotten who you are. And when we internalize this shame, when we internalize this degradation, am I saying that word right? We act out in ways that are not true to who we are. We act out from a space of not remembering who we are. And so it may look like being overly sexual, underly sexual, sex addiction. It can take the form and shape of so many things when you have internalized this shame. And when you're brave enough to go within and remember that none of these shadows are you, but they are currently a part of you that are here to be loved, looked at, cared for, compassionately held, this is where you change the game. Because you are no longer acting out of this wounded, sexual, energetic place. You are no longer acting from your wounded feminine or wounded masculine. You have remembered who you are. And you have remembered how to wield this power from a place of divine love and expression. And you understand that it has absolutely nothing to do with the physical expression, and it has everything to do with the intention behind it. You are innately pure. You are innately innocent. I don't care who you are or what you have done or who you have hurt or how much shame that you hold. You are innately pure and innocent. And any expression coming from this pure innocence within you is the truth. And it only takes you remembering this. You don't need the world to see. It only takes you. You are the only one that needs to know where your intentions lie. And if it gets misinterpreted and you get projected on, this has nothing to do with you. You are allowed to say no and reflect it back because it is not yours. As I'm rewatching and editing this, I want to interject here and make this very abundantly clear that when you hurt someone out of the space of your wounded sexuality, that is on you, and that should be taken full responsibility for. This should be a conversation that is had with the person you have hurt. This should be something that you go within and look at. This is not a point that I'm trying to make that you take zero self-responsibility for your actions. What I am meaning to say here is when you are acting from and communicating from a place of remembering who you are and expressing from this remembrance of your divine, innocent, sexual nature, the world doesn't need to know your intentions. If you have someone in your life, such as a partner or anybody that you would like to know, then yes, express, communicate your intentions with them. But the world as a whole does not need you to over-explain your intentions of your expression. That was the point of this portion of the video. So I am in no way condoning not taking responsibility for your actions when you have hurt another person. This is something to be looked at. This is material to be worked with. This is a reflection to you of where your wounds are speaking to you from. This is an invitation to go deeply into your shadow and to come out as the empowered, innocent version of your sexual embodiment. It is being sent to you for an avenue of remembrance. There is a part of you that has forgotten who you are, and that is why these projections can even be placed onto you. But they're not being placed onto you because they are truth. They're being placed onto you to give you a very powerful opportunity to remember who you are, to remember where you stand, to remember where your intentions are. We must learn how to firmly and boldly and bravely say no to the distortions of this world. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. If you are triggered by this video, it is not for you. You are free to express yourself in any way you wish, and it means nothing about you. All you must be aware of are the intentions behind the expression. And if you are willing to continue expressing from this state of shame, or if you are ready to step fully into yourself, reclaim your power, and begin expressing from your innocence, to begin expressing from your purity, because that's what you are. The fire of your sexuality will burn through illusions. But if you don't know your own sexual energy well enough, it could be misused. And there's no shame in this. It's just a part of learning the inner workings of your sexuality and divine expression through physicality. I urge you to remember who you are through divine expression, not only for your own sake, but for the sake of all who have been kept down by this weight of shame, for all ancestors who were unable to break free from the shackles of degradation and shame, to break free for those who did not have what you have, which is the opportunity to remember, the opportunity to safely step in to this divine expression. Because for so long, men and women and people were taken out for this type of expression, not because it was wrong or bad or sinful, but because of the power that the wielder held within, the power that the pillars of the patriarchy are afraid of. And you must ask yourself why. Why were they so scared of a fully embodied human standing fully in the divinity and power of who they are? Of their innocence, of their purity. Why were they so afraid of this? My second request would be that you go inward with whatever this video is bringing up for you. Go within. Get curious about where it is coming from, where in your body it is stored. Where did this distortion or illusion come from? And how can you choose to reclaim your power and step even more into your divine sovereignty today? How can you powerfully move through this illusion that is being presented to you from within your triggers, from within your body? And how can you lovingly and compassionately hold space for yourself as you learn to reintegrate these aspects that have been shamed, that have been forgotten, that have been mistreated? I love you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing shameful about who you are. There is nothing shameful about how you wish to express yourself. You are a powerful, divine, sovereign creator being. And you may express yourself however you wish. Use your words, use your voice to speak with the people you love, if they have any role in this. Do not be afraid to ask for what you desire. There's nothing innately shameful about your desires. This shame does not belong to you, and your desires do not deserve shame. Your desires are innately pure and innocent. It is only when they get suppressed or locked in the proverbial shed in the backyard that they become distorted, that they become grossly mistranslated through your subconscious psyche. But if your desires are brought front and center, if you looked at them from within, if you sat with them from this space of divine innocence, they will transform. I am not saying to act on desires that are harmful to others. I'm saying if you have a desire that is harmful or hurtful to others, it's because it has been kept locked away in the basement of your subconscious mind for far too long. It has been mistreated. It has felt unloved and unheard. It has felt degraded and shamed. And so, of course, it is going to lash out in harmful ways to you and others. When you bring these desires front and center and first choose to sit with them from a place of divine innocence and unconditional love, they will begin to open and reveal their truth to you. Because anything that is distorted is not the truth. If it has been distorted, bring it front and center, and the distortions will dissolve, revealing to you the pure gem of the nature of this desire. And it has always been something that you have, or society has, deemed wrong or shameful or degrading or whatever it is. So we learn to just get rid of it, but you can never get rid of it. You can only hide it in a dark room, locked away, where it festers and becomes a big illusion. I promise you, if you sit with yourself from a loving, holy space, the distortions will fall away and you will be left with the truth of your desire. Are you brave enough? Because you are loved enough.